Hello, this is Ken Ferry with this week's Boots in the Field report. Things continue to move along with last week's blast in temperatures. Many of the bean fields are starting to turn, and a lot of cornfields are starting to work on that photo finish, where the ear husk is looking ripe and that plant is green about 2 leaves below the ear and all the way to the top. Not much to report on yields. Silage yields estimates are coming in high. Haven't heard a lot on the seed corn yields, but man, they look good too. Getting several hand moisture checks in the April corn in that 19 to 22% moisture. Talked with one grower yesterday, and he was harvesting some April 3rd planted corn. It's running at 19%. That field yield checked at about 240 earlier in the year. He said he was about halfway through the field harvesting and the monitor was holding 255, so that's a good sign for a start. While I'm seeing a lot of great fields out there, there are going to be some disappointments. Be careful how accurately you're doing your yield checks. In some of those fields, the photocopy machine isn't working its best when it comes to photocopying ears, where all ears look identical. This is due to more than one reason, but the big three are aphids, green snap, and top kill. The top kill came in early enough, some of these fields, and took out the top 3 leaves, and those fields were barely 50% milk line. This lightens up that ear tip and takes away the depth of that kernel, especially on your D hybrids. In the fields where the photocopy machines aren't producing photocopied ears, try to diagnose the why before the combine gets there and destroys the evidence. Plants that have stalk diameters 1/3 or more less than their neighboring plants, the answer will be in the oldest roots on the plant, the seed root, and the first 3 sets of crown root. Some fields, especially in the May planted fields, have photocopied stalks, but the photocopied ears need some work. When the stalks are photocopied and the ears aren't, that's late season stress, such as aphid damage, green snap, and top kill. I am now seeing random dead plants top to bottom. Most of these have died from diplodia stalk rot. Some of these fields, I've seen 5,000 to 6,000 photocopies that are poor in 1,000th of an acre. When doing your yield estimates, if you ignore those poor ears, you're going to overestimate these yields. If you're pessimistic and only choose those poor ears, you're going to underestimate these yields. What I recommend is to do your stand counts, then count all the ears, then turn around and count the small ears, the ears that are hanging down already. Do a yield estimate on a representative sample of the good ears times the amount of good ears, and divide these by 70 or 75 and get your yield estimate of the good corn. Then attempt to do the same with the uneven ears that are hanging down, ears that the tops are blowed off, but divide those by 90 to get a yield for the poor ears. Then add these 2 estimates together for your final yield. This will eliminate some of the surprises in these uneven-eared fields. It would be good to take notes of what has dinged this corn for future use. Sitting in a yield map meeting this winter trying to diagnose issues is a lot easier if you've gathered this information before the combine destroyed the evidence. It's a good idea to take some pictures as well. I would train all combine operators that when they see abnormal drop in yield on the monitor to stop, do a quick stand and ear count, take pictures of the ears for the record, and let the scouts know what they're seeing and where it's happening so they can collect some data. This will make everything a lot easier when we're trying to figure this out this winter. Seeing disease pressure ramp up as we get ready to finish this crop. More tar spot and northern leaf blight, southern rust, they're showing up in those upper leaves. As the disease pressure builds, we'll see a quick die down on this crop going forward. Most corn will make it to black layer before it gives up. Seeing some SDS in the beans as time ticks on, heavy infected fields will end up with smaller beans. We've seen a noticeable uptick in stink bug in the beans, so scouts, watch those seed acres. We don't want to give up our seed premiums. Some armyworm spraying is still going on in the double crop beans. As we head into harvest, let's be sure the combine operators are equipped with their harvest loss squares and they're educated on calculating harvest loss. These small ears are going to be rubbery, then there'll be a problem getting it off the cob. I'll have Zach make our harvest loss videos available on the website for review for your combine operators. If you haven't already turned in your fall testing needs, let's get that done. It takes a little bit to get those packets ready to go. And be sure to let us know if these fields are going to be high resolution, because that takes more time, as well as an interview with one of our agronomists to get the yield goals per yield zone set. Janine and I will be on vacation next week before harvest gets kicked off, so there'll be no boots in the fields next week. To stay up to date, check out our website at croptechinc.com and subscribe to our podcast, Boots in the Field Report. Keep her safe, keep her moving.